and we're gonna start with not jacket stuff. We're gonna get to Cappy's soon.
I didn't even start with hockey stuff.
No, we're gonna start with the biggest story in all the sports right now, and I'm gonna give context to the timeline and a bit of a warning
Mm-hmm.
because as of recording this tonight, this story isn't even 24 hours old.
No, it's not. We're sitting here. It's 7:20 right now, uh, on Tuesday.
Mm-hmm. So you've all of you, all of our friends who are football fans as well out there, you know the story because it was Monday Night Football.
Mm-hmm.
Huge game.
Huge. I mean, it could literally determine who gets a bye and home field for the playoffs. Because
Amazing playoff seeding game, right?
yeah, for sure. Because since what was their record heading into the game? They were like they had 11.
Cincinnati was 11-4,
Okay, that's what I
and
thought.
the matchup was Bengals and
Yeah,
Buffalo Bills.
and the Bills are trying to win this game because against a very good team. Because
Mm-hmm.
if they win their next two games, I think they get the bye because they beat the Chiefs earlier this year. That's who they're
Right,
battling with.
and they're also 12-3. They have a little bit better record.
These are two of the best teams in the league, and not just two of the
Amazing
best teams in the league.
quarterback matchup.
Two of the best quarterbacks. Some really good wide receivers.
Yeah,
Uh,
I'm pretty sure the only one of the Triple Crown in Cincy's wide receiver core that was out was Boyd.
yes.
But this isn't about any of them.
No.
This is not about any of them. The two main characters in this story are T. Higgins
Yeah.
and Damar Hamlin.
Yeah. I think it's a really rough kind of reminder to everyone about the fact that sports can be dangerous and that these are real people.
It's a big wake-up call for a lot of reporters
Yeah.
that these are more than just assets for entertainment.
Yeah. Yeah. And I really appreciate you mentioning T. Higgins in this because
Well,
God,
let's break this actual scenario down, right?
yeah,
So I don't remember. I wasn't around. I was off of work,
yeah,
so I wasn't around any TVs
hmm
when the game was going on.
yeah.
So
It's a simple play.
when in the game did this happen?
This happened in late in the first quarter, I believe.
Late
It's
first.
7 to
Okay.
3 Cincinnati. Uh, it's just a simple crossing route. Burrow just looks over the middle, gets it to his guy running across the field, and he's trying to catch and cut up field. So he
Mm-hmm.
gets it to Higgins. It's a very routine play. This
Yes.
like Jake, just to make this, I'm trying to contextualize this for people. You've got the NFL, you've got college football, and that's not just FBS. This is
Mm-hmm.
FBS, FCS, Division three. I think of high school football. Think
Yeah.
of how many divisions there are just in the state of Ohio, let alone the entire country. I do
Ohio.
not mean this metaphorically when I say this is a play that it happens millions of times,
Yes.
like literally millions. This happens all the time.
This is as routine as you can get.
It's not like, and just to kind of keep it connected to Cincinnati, like we've seen some weird things happen in Cincinnati over the years. The
4 of the most disastrous injury plays
yeah,
have
you got
happened in Cincinnati.
Ryan Shazier, I think of
Yes, Shazier.
Antonio Brown, and then earlier this year with Tua.
Yes.
Like, and granted, like the Tua play and this play, neither of those are dirty plays. It's just freak incidents just
Yes.
that happen.
Extremely scary. And Tua, like, he's spent 5 stints in concussion protocol just this year alone.
Yeah.
And this is different, okay?
Yeah, this
So
is completely different. Like
vastly
it's
different,
just a hit to the shoulder pad. Really,
really routine.
it
Like
wasn't even like
the
a
contact
hard
wasn't even
hit.
that much.
Yeah, it's just it is literally like a 1 in a million kind of thing that happens that
And
we've never seen before.
2 seconds later,
He,
Damar
he got
he
back up
he gets up, he looks fine,
and then just out.
just out cold, and he literally like slumped onto the ground like a mannequin.
Yeah,
Like it was the scariest thing watching him fall over like that.
incredibly scary. Uh, really indescribable, I think, because
It's hard to break, like it's hard to describe the actual what happened because so much happened.
a lot of it's like we don't know, like
He falls over, an actual ambulance
yes,
comes onto the football field
they had to give him CPR.
for about 10 minutes, right?
I'm not sure how long it
It
lasted.
was like 9-10 minutes.
All I know is, they restored his heartbeat, and
Mm-hmm.
now the question that's on a lot of people's minds that's going to impact his life is how long was his heartbeat gone? That's the piece that we don't know. It's a significant piece. We know that he's getting the best care possible in the area.
He flew. He drove over to UC.
Yeah, they took the ambulance over. His family was there,
So
and
he's
they
in the
had
care of University of Cincinnati Hospital.
yeah, and they had the opportunity to get his mother into the ambulance with him.
Mm-hmm. T
Uh,
ends up leaving. There's a
yeah.
pause for over an hour.
Hmm.
And first of all, a crucial piece of information that I'm missing that I'm surprised we didn't mention right off the bat: how young Damar Hamlin is.
Both these guys. This is
Yeah, and
really young.
T's young
He's
too. T's, but
24.
they're both about the same age, aren't they?
Yeah,
They're
I
both
believe
24.
so. I believe so. Yeah.
So they're right in between us.
Uh-huh.
And obviously, like the big part of the story is obviously Damar Hamlin, his health, his life.
Yeah. It sports become secondary, right?
As of right now, he's still like we've had no updates all day
I want to
long.
say a half hour ago we got an update from a family member. Okay, so this is from Josh Reed, uh, up in Buffalo. Just spoke with Damar Hamlin's uncle. He
Mhm.
was originally on 100% oxygen and is now down to 50%. Says the family is hanging in there. He thanked Bills fans and Bengals fans and asked for continued prayers. Uh, not sure if this means anything, but
But he's still in critical condition, is he not? Would that still classify him under critical condition? Do you know? Like we're not doctors, we
I'm
don't know
not.
this.
I don't know. I'm not a medical professional, so I'm not qualified to say that. What I will
Right.
say is that seems like a good update
Yes, that's at least somewhat positive news, and we'll take any positive news that we can
because
get.
it it implies that he's becoming less and less dependent on the oxygen provided.
Mm-hmm.
So, uh, I'm just reading some things in the comments.
And it's basically what happened to Damar was a cardiac arrest.
Yeah,
That's what the diagnosis is.
yeah. As a physician, this is a very good sign of progress in his condition. He also got medical attention, CPR, and defibrillation right away.
Mm-hmm.
Let's all pray he will fully and completely recover soon.
So yes,
It
continue.
sounds like it's developing more in the way of progressing him to a point where they can try to almost kind of wake him up, I think.
Make sure he's breathing on his own.
Yeah, but like that's a good sign.
Yes.
That's a good sign. So that is a good update. That
Any
came
progress is good
about
progress.
35 minutes ago.
Okay.
So
Any progress is good progress.
yes.
Continue to pray for number
Mhm.
3.
Yep.
And I don't mean to like move this along so quick, but there are so many aspects that we still need to get to just about this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because obviously the biggest factor in all of this is Damar and his health.
Hmm.
But I also want to talk about T and how he's doing.
That's important.
It's important to think about
Very
T right
important.
now
I
because
can't.
he left with his mother.
He didn't do anything. It's a football play. He
Yeah.
did nothing wrong.
No, he shouldn't be kicking
Nothing.
himself about this.
But human nature, right? You know, I can't imagine.
I can understand him like thinking that there's blame in this.
Yeah, like the human nature of it. Absolutely. We as outsiders who watch, that unfold,
Mm-hmm.
all know he
Did you
didn't do anything
see
wrong.
Joey and Josh on
Oh
the
God.
sideline?
Yeah.
Oh, just how broken both of those guys were.
Broken everyone was. On all sides. You look at and not just even the Buffalo side, the Bengals side. It's
Yes.
broken.
I want to give my kudos out to the coaches, Zach Taylor and Sean McDermott.
Yes, absolutely. Two world-class coaches, not only just in the sense of they're really good at their jobs, but great people.
Yes,
Uh,
because these two,
they handled this as well as you could have asked anybody to handle it.
these two were the ones to push for the game to be postponed,
Mm-hmm.
for the players to go back to the locker rooms.
Yes.
They were the ones that had calls back and forth with the league. And it's huge for those guys to have pushed for that. It's huge that Joe and a couple of the other Cincinnati captains went to the Bills locker room to check on everybody in there. Right?
Yes. So
I
here's,
hope T's doing okay because that's gonna really mess with his head
of
for
course,
such a long
yeah,
time.
yeah, absolutely. One thing I wanted to mention, kind of about this,
I'm gonna move
uh,
this away from the
that
mic.
a lot of people were upset about was the NFL and the whole 5 minute thing.
Yes, I wanted to get to that next.
Yeah.
So basically, the play happens.
Hmm.
The ambulance comes out. They carry him off.
Yeah.
And the immediate reaction from the league
Hmm.
was we want to make sure this game can continue.
Hmm.
We're going to give everybody 5 minutes
Yes.
to process this, get your gear, and move on.
Yeah.
No.
It is hard to. I think there's a couple different perspectives about this because naturally, like, no, of course not, right? As you said, no. Like,
Roger, what are you thinking, man? Are you even thinking? We talk
I
about Gary
I
Bettman
think
as a
back,
bad commissioner. Like, we know
yeah,
Roger Goodell is a very scummy commissioner.
yes. I think about it was some game a couple years ago, a soccer game. Do you remember a guy collapsed in the field and you had players praying around him and they finished the
Mm-hmm.
game?
Well, what I think of, and this is because we're a hockey show, Rich Peverly, Jay Bomeister.
It was with the Blue Jackets. They rescheduled that game, and now granted it
The
was easy
Peverly game, yes.
that game, because it wasn't at the end of the season. Obviously, the NFL is a lot different than the NHL. It's a lot easier to reschedule a game in the National Hockey League
Yeah.
than it is in the NFL. The one thing I'll say that I saw, and this is from Bill Bradley, that I thought was interesting and almost, I don't want to say excuses the NFL, but maybe provides a little context that people should think about,
Mm-hmm.
is he said, as someone who used to work for the league, there is a massive undertaking to suspending a game. If you call it immediately, then the rush of traffic could impede first responders getting out of there.
Right, and that's why
I
well,
think
like
that has an impact on,
why they waited an hour at the very least.
yes, and I'll give them a little bit of pass about that, but the 5 minute thing is where it's like
That's like I said,
really,
no.
yeah.
You can't expect the players after what they just witnessed
Mm-hmm.
to go through with that quickly.
Yeah.
Especially again, especially T,
Yeah.
right? You would have to have T pulled from the game for that.
Yeah. It's hard because there's really no precedent for it. So it's hard to know in the moment how you'll react to something if it's never really
Yeah.
happened before.
Yeah.
Uh,
And I mean, we had
I
similar,
think I
like I
think we.
said, we had similar things,
Mhm.
like we've mentioned with what happened with Tua over the course
Yeah.
of this year.
Yeah, this league I think has a lot to learn, and
Oh, of course they do.
the good news is uh I think that there are things that they will learn from it because it's incredibly important,
Yes.
and
I
now
can't go
having
without
this,
ripping into these people, though.
yeah,
Personally, I cannot go without just completely tearing these guys a new one.
yeah,
Because in the end, I guess they did the right thing. They called the
they
game.
did it it comes on the back of pushback, right?
Yeah. And as of now, they haven't made a final decision on when or if
Hmm.
they're going to actually make this game up.
I don't know how you do that. And I don't even mean just in like an emotional sense. I just mean like in a
In a
logistic
schedule
sense.
sense.
I'm not sure how you do it,
Where do you fit it?
but that's something that they'll have to figure out on their own. And at the end of the day, I think the most important thing is we've mentioned is the game's over. Uh, we'll let the NFL figure that aspect out of it.
Mm-hmm.
We, regardless if you're religious or not, uh, prayers for Damar and for T,
Yeah.
and for the players who had to witness it. I think just like we have friends who were at the game. Like
Oh,
some
yeah.
of our
Lindsay
friends,
was there. Danny was there. Jason was there.
my friend from college, Julia, traveled all the way from Buffalo.
Wow.
She's had this trip with her friends planned for well over a month.
Mm-hmm.
We were Snapchatting while she was at a bar on New
Oh,
Year's watching the Ohio State game, which right.
but
And like I was like, oh my
we
god,
watched the
that's
Michigan
right.
game. We
It
watched the
was like,
Michigan game at my grandparents, and
yeah,
just because we ended up leaving like trying to make it before OSU started.
yeah. I remember like
Anyway,
Snapchatting with her and being like, oh my god, that's right, you're in Ohio. I was like, you're in the bad part of Ohio, because you know Cleveland versus Cincinnati, right? And
yeah, exactly.
uh I remember just being excited for her, and she posted like photos on her stories ahead of the game, and then this happens, and like I texted her probably like a half an hour after this happened, and I was just like, I'm so sorry. Like, whether you're a Bengals fan in Ohio or a Bills fan who traveled, or even just
Mm-hmm.
someone watching on TV, like I just feel bad that this happened to a really
The
good
fact that
person, to two really good
play,
people,
the
and
fact that the play itself was getting replayed and replayed all over Twitter.
yeah, and the good thing is for me, it got. I want to say like it kind of went away after a couple hours.
Yes, all of
People
them got
stopped it.
purged. A lot of
Yes,
people ended up purging them
and the
and
reason
making
that I
sure.
know that is because I actually didn't see it happen in real time.
Neither did I. It took me a
Because
replay to watch it.
I the other thing that happened yesterday that was very significant is the one that I was watching. Donovan Mitchell scored 71 points for the Cavs. That
Exactly, and
had
that's it.
all my attention.
That had a lot of people's attention. And don't get me wrong, that's a huge, huge accomplishment.
Mm-hmm.
It's a wild feat for
So
Donovan, and he deserves his cookies for that. But at the same
100%.
time, but this is the bigger story.
no doubt about it. But that's like I was just watching the cast. I didn't even know it happened. So I'm like in one of my group chats just talking about Donovan Mitchell. I'm going nuts over this, and one of my buddies was like, "Hey, like this happened in like the football game. It's like you should probably check it out." Like
Right.
I had no freaking clue. I had no idea. It was it's crazy, and it took me forever to find because it wasn't on Twitter the way that a lot of these injuries normally happen. You couldn't go
Yes.
2 seconds without seeing the Tua injury when it happened.
I would be remiss if we didn't, and I hate giving these guys the light of day,
Mm-hmm.
but I would be remiss if we didn't tear a new one into the trolls and the bad report. Skip Bayless,
Yeah.
because
How
what it's
dare you call him that? How dare you call him a reporter?
exactly right. Well, that's why I said the bad reporters, right?
Bad reporters don't do that. They're not even
No,
them.
that's not even. Yeah, because
Skip's just a jackass. That's all. That's it. That's it. Right?
what even was it? It was just like,
He's
yes,
just like,
this, yes, this
so how are
happened,
we gonna get
but
this game back up?
yeah,
It's
yes,
like,
this happened, but
ugh.
no, I don't care about the implications for playoff seeding.
Right. It was
I
an
don't.
all-time ratio on him on Twitter. I couldn't even believe it.
And then there was this one like troll account I remember posing as some ESPN reporter or something like that. That
Mm-hmm.
was like, put this game back on. I got a parlay to win.
Yeah, I bet on the game. Get my $10 back, but I bet on the game. You didn't see me on Twitter like, "Hey, we're gonna get this thing fucking back up." Like, no, I don't give a shit.
No.
I can care less about gambling in that moment.
And hey, we'll get to that. We'll get to the like actual fun gambling stuff in a minute, I guess.
No, dude, I've been tearing it up. I have a
I
fun
know.
story for you.
What?
I have a fun DraftKings story for you.
Fun. We'll
But
get to that in a minute.
we'll include that with the ad.
Sure. Okay. So yes, tear a new one into these guys that were making it more about the football than the person,
Mm-hmm.
for sure. Give praise to all the reporters that were making it about making sure Damar's okay.
The broadcast team,
Booger
really, really good.
and
Really,
yeah,
really good.
Booger and
Joe Buck,
Ryan
Troy
Clark,
Aikman,
right?
yeah, all the Scott Van Pelt, like all these guys, like you know, this is not something that they deal with. Like it,
No,
you know, like I said, it's unprecedented. They
they're
handled it beautifully, and they deserve all the credit in the world for that.
yes. Did you see Shannon Sharp even like stormed out
Yeah,
of
I don't
Undisputed
think
or
he
something
showed
like?
up.
No, he just didn't show up to recording that day or something.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
Good on Shannon. um, and the last thing I do want to mention on this before we move on to fun things is a little bit more light in the story, right?
Oh yes, yes,
A little bit more light.
the one beautiful thing that's come out of it.
So he started in college, in his last year in college,
Yes.
he started this toy drive fund.
Yeah.
3 millions, right?
So like the latest update,
His goal, let's just start with this.
2,500.
His original goal, 2,500. That was it.
Last I heard, it's over $4.3 million.
Last time I heard, it's like I think they reached past 5.
Jesus.
They beat like just overnight. It was like 2 a.m, and they broke the $1 million mark.
Yeah. I think back to and Bills fans and Bengals fans have been
As
very
soon as my
tied.
paycheck goes through, I am putting some money in there.
Yeah, they've been very tied to the hip
Let's
these
actually,
last few years,
yeah.
right?
Do you want?
Because you remember when the Bengals upset the Ravens in 2017 and it sent the Bills to the playoffs for the first time in well over a decade. The Bills fans just flooded Andy Dalton's charity with money.
Mm-hmm.
and raise tons and tons of millions, and that's it almost feels like a returning of the favor, doesn't it?
A little bit, doesn't it?
It's kind of a beautiful thing.
Well, it's obviously like this is a great thing to have just an outpouring,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yes.
And
Yeah.
I'm going to say this to anybody who's watching and listening right now: donate. We'll
Yeah.
link it. We'll link it.
Yeah. We'll put it in the description.
It's called 3M's, the 3 Millions toy drive, right? That's the main part of his foundation.
Yeah.
And man, over $5 million, not even in 24 hours.
It's pretty amazing what people can do when they actually use their time and their energy and their resources to something good.
Can you imagine what it's going to be like when he wakes up and they tell him how much money's in his fundraiser?
Right, yeah. Probably pretty incredible.
Just it blows my mind. He'll get an honorary. We'll just, yeah, he'll get an honorary Cappy because, yes.
Yeah, of course. Same with T.
Same with T. We'll throw them in the ring for that.
All every Bengal and Bills player coaching, all of them, anybody who's involved with what happened yesterday,
That made the right decisions.
that made the right decisions, gets an honorary Cappy for sure.
Yes. But yes, I just pray that Damar's gonna be okay.
Mm-hmm.
That he's gonna pull through this. Obviously, there's progress.
Yeah.
So it sounds like he should be, hopefully.
That's what we're hoping for.
And I pray for T. Pray for his mental state, because good lord.
Yeah.
It's just how shaken up was he in the moment after that?
Of course.
And then obviously, if and when this game returns, whether they just like restart it from scratch or they continue where they left off, however they do it, if they decide to do it, see where it goes from there, right?
Yeah.
They'll figure it out. They're $1 billion
Yeah,
corporation.
that's up to them. To them.